You know, Senator, I live in New York, rough and tumble of New York, probably a little more streetwise than I should be in life. But I'd rather live in Texas because you pay no state income taxes, and New York State will.
And we'd love to have you in Texas, Sean.
Well, I just want to ask this. Look, you've been in rough and tumble races.
Yeah.
You and the president had disagreements, but you have supported the agenda of the biggest tax cut, securing our borders. Yeah. Conservative originalists on the Supreme Court. You are known for your knowledge of the Constitution. What do you make of the dangers if this behavior were to be rewarded?
Well, what we've seen in the last 2 years is the extreme left is just filled with rage. They're filled with anger. They're filled with hatred for President Trump. And it's spilling out in nasty and angry protests during the Kavanaugh hearings. The first day of the hearings, 70 people were arrested with the active complicity of Democratic senators. Just yesterday, 300 people were arrested at the Capitol. And we're seeing this anger, this bitterness. You know, this week, we had someone send white powder to our campaign office in Texas that ended up having hazmat and the FBI called in because the concern was that it was anthrax or something. It turned out to be negative, but we're in this environment where there's an anger, a rage, a fury, and it's wrong. It is wrong to just smear someone's character like they've done to Judge Kavanaugh. And for that matter, it's wrong to do what the Democrats did to out Dr. Ford. She asked that her allegations be kept confidential, and the congressional Democrats apparently didn't care, and they outed her against her will. That is wrong, and we've got to find a way to disagree with each other, but still engage with civility, treat each other with decency like human beings.
You know, look, you were in a very tough primary with President Trump. It's not beanbag. You gave, sure. You took. And you said in a debate recently that at the end of the day, you were asked, well, why did you make the decision to go along with the president? And you said, because I'm here to represent the people of Texas. It seems like that campaign, and I know the president's a disruptor. I know that he breaks a lot of dishes, but we see the results now, don't we? And you put the people of your state ahead. Nothing ever has been this bad. I've never seen things this awful.
Now, the anger, the fury, the frankly threats of violence are really disturbing.
Due process.
Having senators who people are showing up at their house, who are threatening their family. I mean, it's not good for this country. And you know, you look at this hearing, I mean, the basic principles of due process, as you said, the basic principles of the presumption of innocence, that you're innocent until proven guilty. You know, listen, once these allegations were made, they were serious. They needed to be treated with respect. We needed to have a full and fair hearing, and we did. We needed to give Dr. Ford an opportunity to tell her story and treat her with respect, and we did. But we also needed to give Judge Kavanaugh an opportunity to defend himself, and he should have been treated with respect, and he wasn't. The Democrats couldn't. Instead, they did theatrics and mock outrage. They were shocked that actually teenagers drink in high school and college. Goodness gracious. And they were even more shocked that 17-year-olds say stupid things in their yearbooks. I mean, it was a ridiculous circus. And they were willing to smear a good man and his family simply for political ends. That's not America.
Corroboration.
That's exactly
Senator,
right.
There was no corroboration.
Yes.
And let me ask you this. I watched you, and I know your wife, Heidi, I watched you get run out of a restaurant. We've seen it happen to Secretary Nielsen, Pam Bondi, it's happened to Sarah Sanders, Mitch McConnell. It's happening like on a daily basis. I don't think you should leave the halls of the Senate open. Yeah. And I'm saying that for the safety, the protection of people we elect. I fear for everyone's safety at this moment.
There are a lot of senators who are having that conversation. You know, Monday night, Heidi was up in D.C., and the two of us went out about 9 o'clock at night to do a date night, just the two of us. We don't get to do that very often. We showed up at a restaurant that we love. It's a delightful restaurant. Unfortunately, somehow the protesters were there waiting for us as we walked in. They surrounded us. They screamed at us. They basically shut down the restaurant, and they made it impossible to have dinner. And so Heidi and I got up to leave. They blocked her from getting out. When we left the restaurant, you know, this actually has not been reported, but we left the restaurant, we went out the door and around a back alley, and this mob of about 15 screaming leftist protesters chased Heidi and me down the alley, screaming and yelling at us. A waiter from the restaurant let us in the back door to the kitchen, and we took shelter in the kitchen with this screaming mob outside. Now, I'll tell you a happy ending to that. So about 10 minutes later, the police arrived and they removed the protesters. And I asked Heidi, I said, okay, well, what do you want to do now? Do you want to go somewhere else? What do you want to do? And she said, no, I like this restaurant. Let's go have date night. So we went back through the kitchen, sat down at the same table, and we had a delightful romantic dinner, just the two of us.